Previously on Thursday solo RPG night.
If you revisit events after you are fully leveled up, you may choose to roll 2d6. Okay, I'm a little confused about that one. One of these may be a typo. I will have to look into that.
That's not right. Okay, that's better. Ooh, no light. Good evening. It is a Thursday. I am a Screaming Wyvern. I don't have my vest on. I'm going to fix that. There. Now I'm ready for this. Regardless, it's a Thursday. Regardless, I am a Screaming Wyvern, and this is Solo RPG Thursdays with yours truly. And tonight, I am continuing the story of Body to Die For from last week. With the understanding that as I kind of recapped right there, there was the tiniest of typos. Yes, as I expected, things were going way too well for me. And I was supposed to be rolling a single d6 die. So I was given permission to continue doing it the way that I had done it, that it's not, the author's intent that matters, it's having fun, but also a little of it is doing it right. So let's go ahead, and from here on out, we're going to take things as they were supposed to be. So let's flip back over to our board. I can go slightly higher up where they're, because nobody is that excited about the move token. Okay. Let's go ahead and put the chat over there. And then forget about reading the chat. So let's put the chat right back where it started. Last time. This is the story of a trans necromancer. I've decided the necromancer's name is Wyvern, being the most creative of creatives. Wyvern is a female to male trans person because that is what I would most be able to understand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. At this time, I had 4 failed attempts, 7 succeeded body challenges, and 12 succeeded spirit challenges. But those are going to get harder. So, to recap that very important point, the game is played by flipping over cards to find out what events happen. Events are a prompt with, storytelling, journaling elements to attach to them, but they also provide a score. No, I want to go all the way back. to the star now. There it is. In addition to being that story prompt, each of them has a difficulty. So you've got an easy challenge, you've got a tough challenge, you've got a hard challenge. So what I need to do is I need to roll d6, add my stat, and if I can go over that number, then yay. Last time, because there was a typo, I was rolling 2d6 as it says here. That is supposed to be 1d6, and I believe it's been changed in some versions. I'm not going to look that up yet. All I know is that things are going to be more interesting now. So, with a score, body or spirit, of 4, they're both the same right now. I have to roll a 1 on the die. A 2 on the die. A 1 will be a failure. So that's pretty low odds. For a tough, I need to roll a 5 on the die. So that's going to be, well, tough. And then hard, I actually need to get a couple more points of spirit or body before I can actually succeed any of them. So, going back to where we were, after going through a large number of challenges and events, I was called into the office, given the fact that this is a tomb and just beneath a hill. Office may be, your mileage may vary. But while I was repairing Master Moth's heart problems by replacing them, he started waxing nostalgic and, more importantly, complimenting me on the life I have lived and what I have done with it. So go ahead and be 30. The end result is that I am now focused on succeeding and moving forwards. This takes in two ways. Number one, I get to look at my failed challenges, which I have 4, count the number of times I have failed, which is 4, and then I have 2 opportunities to try again. So I'm going to go ahead and skip the ones that are the I've already forgotten what I just read. I'm going to take out the hard ones, and I'm going to just have the tough ones, which I can try again. Now, when I try again, I can use Newman, or I can gain Newman. I can also, at any time, redo a failed challenge by using a Newman. So the idea is that hopefully, if I redo these 2, I'll be able to succeed at them. And that will give me the ability to increase my spirit or body by 1 more point. So let's go ahead and take a look at exactly what these events were. Am I time traveling? Who knows? You decide. Okay. The first one is a 9 of diamonds. Okay, so in this one, and actually this one is one I can logically redo based on the story I had in my head. You are trying to remember your mother's recipe for pie, but it just won't come out right. The kitchen is already overflowing with bad pies. When you remember that you hate pie crust, you're recalling someone else's memory. That's distressing. So what I would be trying to do here is spend some time. Maybe there's a ghost that's gotten lost in my head. Maybe somewhere down the line when I made some repairs, I got haunted by whatever the problem was. I know that I should be strong and not make Five Nights at Freddy's reference, but maybe I injected myself with some bad emotions, and now I'm haunted by children who used to be in stuffed animatronics. Any way you slice it, ooh, it's a pie pun. I did not mean to make pie pun. Any way you slice it, I am going to go ahead and give this another try. I have 2 attempts before I have to start, before I have to spend Newman. Let's go ahead and actually, before I do that, I skipped a bit. What was the other one? Okay, too far. 6. Oops, you dropped the sarcophagus lid on your hand and crushed 3 of your fingers. This is a good opportunity to practice your bone swapping skills. You just need to give yourself a transfusion to prep for the procedure. So that's kind of a catch-22. The transfusions are temporary buffs, and that would be quite nice to have. Let's go ahead and start with that one. So again, this is a tough challenge, so I need a 9. I currently have a spirit of 4. I currently have a body of 4. Body is more physical tasks, and I think that replacing bones counts more as that. So let's go ahead and roll this. If I get a 5 or a 6, then I get a lovely transfusion to help me with my next attempt. That is a 5. That is indeed a lovely transfusion. So bounce up here. And go bouncing back down again. Okay. Yeah, I can use the same die. Roll. Okay, your inner critic hasn't had anything to say for hours. +2 spirit. That is nice. So this one goes into the body challenge success file. That's a lot of mouthful. And this is, of course, absolutely perfect because this remaining challenge was a spirit challenge. So 4, 5, 6, I'm going for a 9, so I need a 3 or better. And that is a 1. A 1, traditionally speaking, is not a 3 or better. Oh. Also, I got a Newman from the success on the body, which means I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Newman. So I'm going back down to, nope, not the final one. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and explain something real quick. So every time I have 6 Newman, we're calling those basically XP, although we can spend them for other purposes. So when I have 6 Newman, I can just go ahead and add a point to spirit or body. This is giving me the ability to spend a Newman. If I succeed, yay, I've succeeded, and I earn back that Newman that I spent. If I fail, then I get to add a point to one of my stats, but I can only add up to 4. So, buy with Newman, as many as I can afford. Use Newman, up to 4. And then, if I revisit and I'm already at that +4, so I can't get any more. Wow, that was a poem. I'm going to roll with advantage. So let's go ahead and say I am spending the Newman I just gained to give this one more try. We'll go ahead and roll that. That is a 6. That one is perfect. So that goes into the spirit success column. I earn back my spent Newman, and now it's time to continue on with the game. Before I started, I pulled out the second Joker. Last week, I wanted to make sure that there was an interesting amount of adventure. So I went ahead and I split the deck in 2, and I shuffled one Joker into the top half and the other into the bottom half. I'm going to go ahead and do the same. I've only got the one Joker, so it's going in the bottom half, obviously. And we'll just go ahead and rotate you back around and stick you on top. Perfect. Should I still have you sitting here? You're not a success, you're not a failure. Let's just go ahead and put you under my face where none may see you. And here's my 2 failures. Those can be closer. Okay. So it's time for our next event. This is a King of Hearts. Since I have a 6 spirit, I do have the ability to succeed a hard challenge on a 12. This is clubs, this is diamonds, this is spades, this is hearts. Vampire Jack. There are some procedures you cannot possibly perform on yourself. Master Moth cannot touch you without consuming your Newman, but Jack is safe-ish if you can show them what you need and trust them to control their appetite. +1 body on success. I really feel that this works out okay as a spirit. Because spirit is force of personality. In old D&D terms, it's charisma, it's wisdom, it's intelligence. So ultimately, I am having Jack perform an operation on me and I have to talk him out of snacking while he's working on it. So, again, we're dealing with a spirit of 6, so all I need to do is roll a 6 to succeed. All I can do to succeed is roll a 6. You can put it both ways. And that's all there is to it. If I fail, then I have not convinced Jack to not snack. I got 2 attempts before I have to use a Newman. But let's see what happens. Rolling once. And that, of course, is as far from a 6 as a 6-sided die gets. And rolling twice. Very nice. Okay, so that is another success on the spirit aisle, whatever that means. I get a 5th point in body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 9 Newman, so I'm actually going to go ahead and put my body all the way at 6. The 1 point from there and the other from gaining it through experience. So that's going to make things quite nice for a little while. Okay. As I try to roll the card. Spades, diamonds, clubs. This is a 10 of clubs. This is a tough one. Necromantic Wither has started to show in your features, but you're not ready to look like a corpse. You could swap out for a fresh face, but seeing a stranger in the mirror might be hard on your spirit. The facial reconstruction requires a transfusion. Well, it literally just says that it could be hard on my spirit. So we're going to go ahead and go with this being a spirit test. This will also replace the previous one, which is a damn shame, but whatever happens, happens, or and that is a 6. Very nice. I'm going to go ahead and swap out virtual dice so that anyone virtually watching doesn't feel like I'm virtually cheating. However, that would work. So yeah, that is another spirit success, but I am now required to replace the transfusion with a 4. An old wound suddenly heals. This feels like progress. So I lose the +2 spirit and I get +2 body. That is very interesting. Let's look at these 2 failures that I have. These are both hard failure. Spades. So skeletons have been attending their duties bedecked in chains and crowns of flowers. Since they have no personalities, they then decorate themselves. Is there a cult starting somewhere, or is Master Moth going through a weird phase? I can definitely see body, which is your strength, your agility, your constitution. Actually, no, I can't see using body for that one. That would be detective skills and stuff like that, which would most certainly be a these cards are too high. Move me down. Move me up. I can't choose a location. West Virginia. And that's why there's no longer any sound in here. Okay. So yeah, that would be a spirit one still. So I can't see it being too useful to try that again. This one, there's a beautiful altar in the chapel that cracked a century ago. You've always thought it would look nice if the gap was filled with bone, but the sacred purpose of the table was this necromancer. No, that one is also spirit, as far as I'm concerned, because it's a question of whether my necromantic skills are more powerful than the god. And there was a comment about me being able to go ahead and just shove it into place by brute force, but clearly it would randomly just plink out when whatever god got to it later. Okay, so let's move on to the next challenge and not spend the Newman yet. 9 of Hearts. Oh. Hearts. Vampire Jack. So Master Moth went away for a weekend and things got a little out of hand while he was gone. Jack tried to get the constructs to let loose, and one of them tried to eat you. It was a whole thing. You're missing a limb. Concoct a transfusion and repair yourself. Okay. I have pretty much assumed at all times that a transfusion is a matter of, especially in this case, it's a physical thing. Making the transfusion, applying the transfusion, all that sort of stuff. Especially since the end result is a little bit random. But this one being I am missing a limb, definitely going to see that one as a body. So I am at 6, 7, 8. If I roll anything, for example, that 3, then I succeed. So once again, good news. I've got another Newman. Good news. I've got another body. Bad news. I lose the transfusion that I currently have, and I was kind of liking it. 3. So that's fine. At least my inner critic has shushed again. And obviously, the odds of you being gender dysphoric and depressed are extremely high, and the chance of you being depressed and a perfectionist are extremely high. So there's a nice little ball of this all makes sense. So currently, both skills are at 6. Okay, 8 of diamonds. Your robes are falling to pieces, but Lady Grey was a seamstress in her lifetime. She offers to teach you some of her skills and help renew your wardrobe to reflect your new body. You're grateful, but all of this measuring and attention to detail can be overwhelming. Measuring and attention to detail, very obviously spirit as far as I'm concerned. 6, 7, 8, 9. That is another spirit success. I get another XP. We're probably running out of gentle areas. I mean, in this case, it's so this one is guaranteed success. Because this is obviously spirit. My spirit is 6. Not that my body isn't 6, but we'll ignore that. But this is a good one to discuss. You really need to sit down and think about your relationship with death. Does your knowledge and use of necromancy change your expectations for the afterlife? What does being an undying person mean to you? Master Moth has some advice based on experience. So go back. The afterlife is a loaded statement right here, because if I die as I am right now, is that going to be the afterlife? Is it just a discussion of what happens when I'm done? And of course, that's where a lot of this, my 3 advisors come into play. Master Moth, he has the physical form and the intelligence, but he's not in touch with his emotions. Jack has the emotions and the mind and the body, but he also has limitations that he has to obey. I'm sorry, Gray. Gray, of course, has nothing but mind and emotions, and she can't do anything because she has no body. And of course, then we have the nuns, who are all body, no spirit. So really what it comes down to is, which would I rather be in the afterlife? I mean, if I'm just choosing from my 3 mentors and the one other example I have available to me, the vampire seems like the best choice, because I will be myself, except for the parts where, I'm a brutal killing machine, which is what people expect of necromancers anyway, so that's fine. What does being an undying person mean to you? The ability to keep learning and exploring. That's ultimately the important thing, is that I came here to learn, and I came here to keep learning. And if I'm going to keep going forever, then that's really what I want most out of it. But hopefully there's some optimal situation. But anyway, that's the spirit, and that's a success. These trivial ones right now. A 10 of diamonds. Spectre Gray. Okay. You sometimes find rabbits struggling in hunting snares. It always makes you pause and contemplate the fleeting nature of life. Can you help this wounded animal? Should you? You may or may not be comfortable with death, but are you comfortable with killing? The answer should be, and this is definitely a spirit question. If I save the rabbit, the hunter doesn't eat, whether he's selling the rabbit for money or he's selling, or he's eating the rabbit. One thing dies to produce life for another. Do I have the right to interfere? No, probably not. Especially since this isn't exactly my land per se. I'm as much a stranger or visitor in this area as the hunters might be, so I don't really have the right to say, no, don't be hunting. And hunting's not the worst thing. We're talking about the time period, of course. Although my personal feelings kind of lend towards that. So the question here is, do I have, what's the word I want? Are my convictions about it not being my place to interfere and it not being my right to interfere, is that a logical thought that I also agree with deep down? Or is that something I tell myself, but I'm unlikely to respect my own thoughts in the matter? Let's go ahead and see what that looks like. So again, this is a tough, and I have currently a spirit of 6. 5 means that, yes, I am more than just trying to convince myself of the thing. It's actually something I believe in, or follow through with. So that was another spirit challenge. Whip. The Ace of Diamonds. Okay. Veep, 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 veep. Veep, veep. Okay. You keep waking up in strange places. You're convinced that you've been sleepwalking until Lady Grey approaches you, concerned that you may be the victim of recurring possession. You have a spiritual parasite. +1 wither until this is successfully resolved. So how does one banish a spirit in themselves? Is it simply a matter of willpower, or is it actually a fight to try and stop it? I'm going to assume, especially since I did the same thing earlier, although I really want to make pie crust is slightly less problematic than waking up in strange places and not knowing where I've been. I'm going to say this is spirits. I have spirit of 6, 7, 8. That is not a success for a hard. And 9 is also a failure. So I can try and come back to that later. The thing is that that wither is going to count against me if I don't get it taken care of before the next Joker appears. Six of spades. Okay, let's learn both. Animals and people usually avoid the hill on instinct, but something keeps eating your herb garden. This delays medicinal treatments and ruins your plans for dinner. Good food is one of your few emotional comforts, so this feels like an attack. Well, that seems fair to me. So this is going to be a stakeout and trying to frighten someone. This one is definitely a body challenge as far as I'm concerned. So let's see what happens. 6 body, just 3 or better. That is a 2, which is not a 3 or better. And that is a 4. Okay. So that is another success that also gives me 7 Newman total. So I'm going to go ahead and spend a point to increase my spirit from 4 to 5. Three of clubs. Yes, the sclub. Are there people you find yourself putting on performances for, playing up or playing down certain elements of yourself to meet or challenge their expectations for you? Now that you've identified this code switching, will you change the behavior? Okay, so this is supposed to be a challenge, but this is kind of a in my heart of hearts, I consider myself to be a fun person. I would rather be someone that people want to hang out with. So usually I am just me. I'm relaxed and I don't really hold my emotions back. But there are some people that, yes, I try and keep a distance with. And I don't think that it's a bad idea to do that for my own benefit, because you don't want to be too comfy cozy with some people is really what it comes down to. So let's go ahead and take that part of the question and put it closer to the story. You are a necromancer. You are a guy who lived under the hill with a lich, a specter, a vampire, and a bunch of skeletons. Are you going to be yourself for all these people? No. Should you? No. You absolutely need to be prepared to play pretend at any time. And now we go ahead and add that vitally important final word: trans. There is no logical reason why I have decided that the body that I am in is wrong for me, should be punished. And it doesn't matter which way it goes, although we do know that in a lot of cases, this is an anti-feminist thing. We really see people forgetting or not caring that trans men exist when they're making these decisions regarding trans women. And of course, there's two other perfectly valid ways to have your gender be incorrect, other than the binary. There's going to be some people that you're going to be so desperate to, if you can't pass, then you're going to revert, because it's either, there's no either there, because it's dangerous. It shouldn't be, and I'm sorry. And then there's the people where you don't actually have to care. They're going to treat you as yourself. And my hope, my dream is always to be that person for, as many people as want to hang out with me, obviously. But I don't think that code switching is bad. I think that it's a survival mechanism. And really what it comes down to is, can you switch up as needed and still feel okay about it afterward? So here's a roll. We're going to see if that's the case for my little character. Yeah. They are absolutely fine with that. No problems whatsoever. Okay. This is a 3, so yeah, that was never actually a doubt. I've got a 5 as long as I roll a 1, which, you know, it will happen. Whip. 5 of spades. 5. How old were you when you first came to the hill? How old are you now? Do you have any ongoing romantic relationships? And if so, has anyone given you the talk yet? Either way, Master Bomb has opinions about what he tactfully calls human interactions. This would be a sanity check. This would be full on Call of Cthulhu. The great ones rise from the depths to let you know that when a man and a woman love each other very much, then the man puts its into her. No. That's just a spirit check. To answer the question, I am. I feel like, based on some of the things that I said last time, my character had a full life at home. And then they had started looking into arcane magic before they ended up choosing necromancy. So they are probably they were probably in their 30th when they finally came here. Yeah, I feel that that's accurate. Okay, flip this one. This is the king of the clubs. Your face feels wrong. You try to find the problem in the mirror, but you're not certain what you find unsettling about the reflection staring back at you. Physical changes aren't helping. This is a mental block that needs to be addressed. Okay, so right now, Spirit is temporarily at 7. So this is a good time for this challenge. And of course, this is one of those challenges where there's not really a story beat or discussion. It's just you need to find a way to overcome that thought. And I know that that's something that I suffer from in a lot of places. That's something that a lot of people have a genuine excuse, reason, however you'd like to phrase it, to be in that situation. And, you know, my wife, unsurprisingly, has depression. Kind of hard not to in this world, ignoring the family that she grew up with, ignoring genetics and all that. She is the mother of a trans daughter in 2025. And And a lot of the problems she faces are ones where the answer is, for better or worse, just push through. You can regulate using pills, which is wonderful. That is a wonderful and useful feature of modern life. We know exactly what it does in the brain. We know exactly how to test why, there may be unfortunate side effects and move on to other things. And anyone who says that antidepressants are in some ways dangerous is in fact a complete idiot who really needs to do their research in proper locations, especially if they're showing signs that they believe in outdated science like phrenology. I'm not talking about anyone specific. No, sir. I managed to go a whole hour before I started having my anger slip through. So let's just go ahead and do this check. What did I say? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. One off from what I need to succeed a hard challenge, but I got 2 attempts. That wasn't it, Bob. So I'm going to go ahead and use my point of nomen that I have left over. So that if I succeed, that's fantastic. Hooray for me! And if I don't succeed, then I can get a free point from the retry. Okay, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That was the number we had before. So I'm going to go ahead and say that I have an extra spirit, and I've listed it as so it's listed as 5 + 1 so that I can keep track and make sure that I don't go over the +4. I am a good player. I keep track of these things. Now, then I smack myself in the face. Okay. So that was a failure. I currently have no Newman available to me. So, of course, we have the Ace of Clubs. Someone from your past unexpectedly reaches out for the apparent sole purpose of reacting to your gender presentation. The experience is so upsetting, it interferes with an important ritual. Well, this is obviously another spirit, and this is another. There's not really that much to discuss. It's really just we need to succeed in a spirit skill check to get back on track. Okay, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Thanks to that one failure, this is now a success. That goes on the spirit. I get to get rid of that extra wither. I get 2 points of Newman, and I am immediately nothing. I am going to continue. I was thinking about immediately retrying that one, but we will see. Okay. Demons. Lady Grey wants to know more about your personal reinvention. Is there anything about the person you used to be that you would want to leave behind? Who are you trying to become? Do you have a clear image in mind, or are you discovering yourself in real time? Having a clear image in mind for me would be an exercise in failure, or a guaranteed failure. Like, let's just go ahead and take this hobby. If I had a vision for having 50,000 followers enjoying my stream every week, other solo RPG guys are getting like maybe 10K, which is amazing. So yeah, I you need to discover yourself in real time. um it's not something that I can advise, uh although I certainly would to my daughter to not have this idea of what she's going to be. And thankfully I don't think she's ever made that mistake. I mean, she always says that she has the best role model for being a trans woman, because my wife is not, she's not a girly girl. She's not a you know she's never going to be a model. She uh, doesn't flaunt, be flamboyant or anything like that. um she's absolutely wonderful, and I absolutely love her. And if that's all my daughter wants to be, then that's absolutely great. But uh, uh, that's really the thing that I hope people do, is to let it be a process and just care about what you're learning about yourself, without taking any recommendations from your careful pre-planning of what it's all going to look like, because that's not going to end well. Who are you trying to become? Just me, only a version of me that when I look in the mirror, um I'm a little more comfortable with. And I know that's not an easy thing for people who are really suffering from dysphoria. And I wish there was an easy way. And the person you used to be that you want to leave behind, and I kind of discussed last time that I think there are certain feminine things that it would be hard uh to continue with. Like, I was discussing the different kinds of ways that you could transform. uh if my character grew up in a witch's household and was trained in that body as a witch, then it would become irreparably tied to femininity. um and I'm not feminine, and that would be difficult for me to continue. And of course, that would be the problem with the arcane magic, where since it's illusion, it's glamour, you can polymorph something to change it completely from one thing to another, but those are very, very rarely subtle spells. It's like, okay, you are a spin the wheel of creation elephant now. So really it's about leaving behind the magics that aren't real for me. That's a spiritual discussion, I think. A 7 of diamonds. Oh, still here. Festival season is always hard. Okay, as festival season is always hard. You've given yourself plenty of time to prepare, but you can't find what you need to carry out what the old but you can't find what you need to carry out the old traditions that make this time of year feel special. Lady Grey suggests you establish some new traditions. And of course, this really is just another of those. It's really easy to say that. Like, we don't celebrate a lot of holidays because there's connotations. Valentine's Day. Well, a lot of people think it's important, but it's a Hallmark card holiday. It's not a real celebration of anything. If I was going to show my wife I love her once a year, then I should not be married to her, because I should be married to someone who I, literally worship on a daily basis. And, just the other day, someone passed by us and said we were a cute couple. So obviously I'm doing something right. So, there's places where we've tried to go ahead and make it more our own, but usually what it ends up being is it a feast day? Really big on feast days. Really love the Easter ham, the Thanksgiving turkey, the Christmas roast beef. All the little side things really don't matter as much. Does that explain why I'm kind of egg-shaped here? Yes. Oh, excuse me. Yes, it certainly does. All celebrations are food. So, making your own traditions is tough, and it usually ends up with you giving up that, that celebration, in my experience. And I'll go ahead and use Christmas again because it's like, you go to all the trouble of putting up the tree, and you know I don't get visitors to my house. So we did it for us, which was absolutely wonderful when, the kid was entranced by shiny lights. But now it's, do we really want the dog and the cat to be entranced by shiny lights? Not as much. Not so much. So yeah, from the game perspective, this is obviously Spirit again. What are we? 6, 7, 8. So that's an automatic success here. I'll go ahead and take my point of Newman. Oh, thank you very much. Okay. Actually, I'm not going to take that point of Newman. I'm going to go ahead and try and do this spirit again. So I only get the one chance. But 6, 7, 8. I need a 4. And I got a 4. So that goes into the win column. My spirit is now legitimately 6. So I'm going to go ahead and get 2 bird for that. King of Clubs. Right. I did take that into consideration. Let's go back and look at this Ace of Diamonds. Yeah, the spiritual parasite. Let's go ahead and use 1 Newman to try and fix this problem. What are we doing? 6, 7, 8, 9. So 3 or better. That is a 6. That is definitely a 3 or better. 2 more Newman, and that wither that I had accumulated is gone. So I think I am in a good space for whenever the Joker decides to show up. Queen of Diamonds. Your joints ache nonstop, telling you something is wrong. Your focus on rapid progression might be taking a toll on your body. You need to go easy on yourself, even though it is hard to go slow when you want to finish the race. The ever-popular question of, well, the main question of this game, obviously. Is this a spirit or a body? Thank you. I am going to say that this has to be a spirit thing. Okay. So yeah, this is going to be a spirit check. And of course I've got quite a lot of that. And I'm going to have to go beat up my child if she doesn't stop yelling. One night, Lena, that's all I ask for. I'm even over here being complimentary to you. You jerk. So yeah, 7, 8, 9. This is a perfect time to have spirit checks because I only need a 3 or better. Attempt number 1 is a 2. So that one's a failure. Second try is a 6. So that one is a huge success. So I get a bonus to body. I get 2 Newman. And I got to move on to my next card, which is also a queen. So this one is a Queen of Spades. A monk on a pilgrimage shows up in the chapel and sets himself to the task of rebuilding it. Master Muff considerately hides his thralls, but asks you to find a way to get the interloper to move along before Jack eats him. +1 spirit on success. So this almost feels unfair. He's doing a nice thing. I mean, yeah, his taste in decor is not going to match my preferences, but that doesn't mean that Jack should eat him. I almost wonder if this is more of the challenge is stopping Jack more than stopping the interloper. Because why not get free? If I can get someone to fix my roof for free here in the real world, I'm not going to complain. You know, I'm going to make sure that the dog doesn't bite him. What the dog is doing on the roof, given the fact that it's a Pomeranian about yay big, that is a huge question. But let's ignore that for the moment. But it's really going to just be about sitting down and befriending the fellow. I mean, being kind, let him know the downside, that there are people here who might eat him, and yeah, just a mutual meeting of the minds. Let's see how it goes. A 5. A 5 is absolutely fantastic because that's, what am I at, 9? That's 14 right there. So we can go ahead and put that there. To Newman. This is another permanent plus to Spirit. Yeah, things did not get strangely harder randomly because of changing to the proper thing. It's almost like I had a good foundation built. 3 of diamonds, just a nice little talky talk bit. Food is good for the soul. Lady Grey insists that you need to eat well to live well. She can't cook for you, but she knows there's a really good book of recipes in the kitchen. Would you help her find it? She wants to eat vicariously through you. Bond over potatoes. And this one, we already discussed that the eating is my one, you know, it's the one thing that I still like, since there was that one encounter with whatever was stealing my garden. So that's absolutely a no-brainer. This, on the other hand, is a brainer. Let's see, spades. You reach out to a skeleton, and the magic that compels her completely unravels. Her bones no longer answer the necromantic call. You need to figure out what happened before you unravel anyone else. Well, this is going to be spirit again, unfortunately. Unfortunately, in that I'm supposed to be finding balance between the body and the spirit, and I'm not doing a very good job of it. But yeah, this is going to be kind of like that psychic parasite problem. Where there's obviously some kind of, I mean, hell, maybe it's some kind of ritual mistake or something like that that I need to go back and reanalyze. But really, it's just a matter of seeing if I can figure it out. So I'm not sure that felt like a roll, but 7, 8, 9, 10, it counts. So that's for the good. No wither to worry about. A couple more Newmen. I'll go ahead and hold on to them until I get to a situation where it's a problem. King of Spades. Perfect. Oh dear. Your gums bleed, then your teeth start falling out. You have some nutritional needs not being met. In fact, Master Moth is concerned that you have a lot of physical needs that haven't been addressed in a while. Time to fix that. You know what I think would be the best fix in a situation like this? I think that it would be a good time for my character to go home, which would be an extremely stressful thing. But obviously, their old mother, and that in itself is going to be difficult. It's all out. They would definitely know how I am screwing up my diet and everything else. Little nature to help with the necro, as it were. So, do I have the mental strength to do that? Yeah, I do. Good for me. So yeah, that's my body getting an extra point. My Newman going up by 2. And there we have it. Okay. So before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and bend down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Newman to pull my body up to 9. Okay, let's go ahead and look at these last challenges. Yeah, I've just got the 2 of them. Jack of Spades. Skeletons have been attending to their duties, protect and change in crowns of flowers. So what we are trying to do here is track down and identify where these are coming from. So this is just a matter of patience. So this is a body check. My current body is 9, which means I just need a 3 or better to succeed at this. Okay. So that's 1 Newman down, but 2 Newman back. No extras. And the Jack of Clubs. This is the beautiful altar. Okay. Cute. So I'm currently at 8, 9, 10 for spirit. So this, of course, is me versus whatever god the altar is for. But it's going to be a fairly easy task unless I roll a 1. That is a 2. Therefore, all is fine. Okay. So I now am sitting at no failures. So I need to pull myself open a spreadsheet. Spreadsheet. Very important. Okay. So, first, tally up the value of the cards that were solved with necromancy over the course of your game. Add your wither points to that value. So I only used necromancy once on a queen, and I have managed to avoid withering. So all is good there. Next, tally up the value of the card that were solved with a stat challenge. Calculate your spirit and body scores separately. So let's go ahead. A jack is 12. Yes, that's truly what I wanted to do. A king is 14. Oh, please stop. I keep right mouse clicking instead of left mouse clicking. An ace is 15. A 3. A queen is 14. A queen is still 14. An ace is... No, queens are 13. Sheesh. Okay. 1, 2, 3. That was an ace. That was a king. That was a jack. Okay. Put the rest of the numbers together correctly. 14 and 7. 2. Another ace. A 5. Sheesh. 3. 10. 3. 8. 10. King. 9. 8. 5. 2. 9. I wish I could montage this. 4. 5. Jack is 13. 7. A 6. Another 7. A 9. 8. 10. And that was the last one there. Yeah, that was 270 points. Oops. Okay, so body, that's a jack. A 6. A 9. A 6. An 8. A 4. An 8. An 8. 5. A 2. A 4. And there we have it. Okay. That is 79. Okay, subtract the necromancy solutions total from each of the stat solutions. If either result becomes a negative number, refer to the Lich Lord ending. Okay, so no, neither of them becomes a Lich Lord ending. Once you have subtracted the necromancy solutions from both of the stat solution totals, determine which score is highest. If you scored more stat points challenging the spirit stat, refer to the specter final prompt. If you scored more points challenging the body stat, refer to the vampire final prompt. If the scores are even but below 180 points, choose whichever of those. If both of them exceeded 180 points, refer to the Trailblazer. My spirits, and I mentioned this last week, I knew that I needed to keep them even. So spirit was 257, body was 66. So no Trailblazer here. But let's see what the Spectre prompt is. You fight like hell. You try everything. You risk life and limb for the chance to live the way you really are, and you refuse to lose sight of what you want as your body falls to pieces around you. Your flesh weakens, but your force of personality shines like a beacon. You persist even after death. You become a specter like Lady Grey. You've become an essential version of yourself. You maintain your identity and integrity, though you no longer have flesh to puppet around. Honestly, you're starting to think that meat bag was holding you back. You may not be able to hold a cup of coffee or feel the warmth of a fire, but you can fly. You can quite literally walk through doors that in life would have been closed to you. You can see everyone's true colors, including your own. And you finally like what you see. You might not be alive, but you can live with yourself. That was a lovely ending, but of course, not the choice I should hear from anyone else having. Please, no matter how hard things are, they can always get better as long as you're in a position to learn and grow. But that doesn't change the fact that that was a perfectly good ending for this game, and I am quite pleased with it. So that brings an end to Body to Die For. If you have enjoyed this, I desperately hope that you will go to shuttingcrow.itch.io and pick up this or any of their other lovely works. Again, if you would like something a little lighter, Hedge Witch is absolutely beautiful. Strongly recommend that. And if you are interested in more of Screaming Wyvern, this Sunday, 1 o'clock Pacific time, it's X-Crawl time. The Beasts of Milwaukee will be finishing their romp through the labyrinth. And next week, I'm going to be using the Mythic GM emulator, which is not an AI program, to begin adventuring in the world of Torg. The other role-playing game is where the name originally comes from. So I hope you join me for that next week. And until then, as always, be sure to be one of the good ones, because there's way too many of the bad. And good night.